Join me as I dive into the world of crypto arbitrage and challenge myself to implement these strategies live, aiming to make some serious gains. Crypto arbitrage, it's a term that's been making waves in the cryptocurrency market lately, and for good reason. The opportunity to capitalize on price discrepancies between different exchanges is a tantalizing prospect for traders. But what exactly is crypto arbitrage, and how can you get in on the action? In essence, it's a trading strategy that involves buying an asset at a low price on one exchange and selling it at a higher price on another. Sounds simple, right? But trust me, it's not as easy as it sounds. As the popularity of crypto arbitrage grows, more and more traders are jumping on the bandwagon. And while it's great to see so many people interested in this space, it also means that the competition is getting fiercer by the day. So, if you want to stay ahead of the curve, you need to be willing to adapt and learn. That's what this video is all about, sharing my knowledge with you and exploring the world of crypto arbitrage together. So, what makes crypto arbitrage so appealing? For one, it offers a relatively low-risk way to profit from the cryptocurrency market. I mean, let's face it, the crypto space can be incredibly volatile, and prices can fluctuate wildly in a matter of minutes. But with arbitrage, you're not betting on the direction of the market, you're simply taking advantage of price discrepancies between exchanges. And that, my friends, is a much more predictable game. One thing's for sure, the world of crypto arbitrage is not for the faint of heart. You need to be willing to put in the time and effort to learn, to adapt, and to stay ahead of the game. But if you're willing to do that, the rewards can be substantial. So, let's dive in and explore the world of crypto arbitrage together. I promise you, it's going to be a wild ride. When it comes to crypto arbitrage, one of the biggest challenges traders face is market volatility. I mean, think about it, you're trying to take advantage of price discrepancies between exchanges, but those prices can change in an instant. It's like trying to catch a moving target, and it requires a tremendous amount of skill and strategy to stay ahead of the game. But market volatility is just the tip of the iceberg. Another major challenge is transaction fees. I mean, when you're dealing with small price discrepancies, every little bit counts, and those fees can eat into your profits big time. And then there's the issue of timing. If you're not quick enough, someone else is going to snap up that deal before you can. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, folks. And let's not forget about the exchanges themselves. I mean, some of them are super reliable, but others, not so much. You've got to be careful who you're dealing with, because if your exchange goes down, you're left high and dry. It's a risk you've got to be willing to take, but it's a risk nonetheless. But even with all these challenges, there are still ways to succeed in crypto arbitrage. You've just got to be willing to put in the work and adapt to the changing landscape. And that's what we're going to talk about next. So, how do you actually make money with crypto arbitrage? Well, there are a few different strategies you can use, and each one has its own strengths and weaknesses. Let's start with spatial arbitrage. This is probably the most straightforward strategy out there. You buy an asset at a low price on one exchange and sell it at a higher price on another. Easy peasy, right? But here's the thing, spatial arbitrage is also one of the most competitive strategies out there. I mean, everyone and their grandma is trying to make a quick buck with this one, so you've got to be quick and you've got to be smart if you want to stay ahead of the game. And even then, there are no guarantees. Another strategy is statistical arbitrage. This one's a bit more complicated. You're looking for patterns in the market that you can exploit for profit. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, but if you can do it, the rewards can be huge. The key is to have a solid understanding of statistics and a good eye for patterns. And then there's triangular arbitrage. This one's a bit more advanced. You're essentially trading one asset for another, using a third asset as a kind of middleman. It's a bit like a game of musical chairs, except instead of chairs, you're dealing with cryptocurrencies. One of the keys to success with triangular arbitrage is to have a solid understanding of the market dynamics at play. I mean, you've got to know how the different assets interact with each other, and how that's going to affect your trade. It's not for the faint of heart, but if you can master it, the profits can be substantial. Another strategy is index arbitrage. This one's a bit more complex. You're essentially tracking an index of assets and looking for discrepancies in the pricing. It's like trying to keep track of a bunch of different balls at once, except instead of balls, you're dealing with cryptocurrencies. And then there's risk arbitrage. This one's a bit more advanced. You're essentially taking advantage of price discrepancies between different assets, using a kind of hedge to mitigate your risk. It's like trying to thread a needle, except instead of a needle, you're dealing with cryptocurrencies. One of the keys to success with risk arbitrage is to have a solid understanding of the market dynamics at play. I mean, you've got to know how the different assets interact with each other, and how that's going to affect your trade. It's not for the faint of heart, but if you can master it, the profits can be substantial. Let's talk about a real-life example of a trader who used crypto arbitrage to make some serious bank. Meet Jane, a seasoned trader who's been in the game for years. She's a master of spatial arbitrage, and she's made a killing using this strategy. So, here's what Jane did. She started by identifying a price discrepancy between two exchanges. One was offering a particular asset at a much lower price than the other. She then bought up a bunch of that asset on the cheaper exchange and sold it on the more expensive one, pocketing the difference as profit. And she did this over and over again, raking in the profits. But here's the thing, Jane didn't just stop there. She also used statistical arbitrage to find patterns in the market that she could exploit for even more profit. And she used triangular arbitrage to diversify her trades and minimize her risk. The result? She ended up making a small fortune using crypto arbitrage. So, what can we learn from Jane's example? For one, we can see the importance of having a solid strategy in place. I mean, Jane didn't just wing it, she had a plan, and she stuck to it. And we can also see the importance of diversification. By using multiple strategies, Jane was able to minimize her risk and maximize her profits. So, let's recap the strategies we've discussed today: spatial arbitrage, statistical arbitrage, triangular arbitrage, index arbitrage, and risk arbitrage. Each one has its own strengths and weaknesses, and each one requires a different set of skills and knowledge. But if you can master them, the profits can be substantial. And that's a wrap, folks. I hope you learned something new today, and I hope you're as excited about crypto arbitrage as I am. Remember, the key to success is to stay adaptable, stay smart, and stay ahead of the game. And if you can do that, the profits will follow. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to share your own experiences with crypto arbitrage in the comments below. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more tutorials and trading tips. And if you want to learn more about advanced trading techniques, check out my next video. Until next time, stay crypto.